Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. Okay. I'd like to call this workshop of the Okaloosa County School Board for February 23rd, 2026 into order. Great to see everybody. All right, board members, so looking at the agenda, I'll do a call to order tonight. We'll go to changes of the agenda, and at this time, I see no changes. Okay, so that takes us down to recognition, and I see some wonderful employees here this morning. And Mr. Meyer, you're going to introduce us to them?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, board members. Today we have some of our custodial staff. I see our zone foreman out there, our central-based custodial staff, and some school personnel as well. Thank you for taking the time to be here and to be recognized. I will say this is a group that is the first one to show up to our buildings and our schools. They usually unlock our schools. They take pride in their areas. They stay late, and they help our staff to make sure that our students and staff have a clean, safe working environment. They work hard behind the scenes on a daily basis, and we can't say enough about what they do for our schools. I've had some long personal relationships with these guys. I see what they do on a daily basis, and there have been some great custodial staffs throughout our district. They really become part of the school. They know the kids. They know the ins and outs of our buildings, and I appreciate you guys being here today. Dustin Keith is the program director over custodial as well. He's going to come up and say a few words, and then maybe you guys would like to say something as well. I appreciate you guys being here today.
Hey, Mr. Keith.
Good morning. Hitting the button. All right. Good morning, Chairwoman. Thank you, Mr. Meyer, for asking me to come up. As Mr. Meyer already said, this group behind us is a small representation of the unsung heroes that are in our schools, and they're doing the jobs that you may not even see. And so when you walk into the school and you feel that welcoming, clean feeling, that's thanks to this team here. When you see the children and their smiles on their face when they see a custodian walk by and give them a high five, it's those relationships that are built over years and years that become a foundation of a school. And so they're entrenched in the school climate, parents, students alike, teachers, relationships. So, and that's why they're here today, to recognize them, and we appreciate you allowing us to do that.
Absolutely. Board members, would you like to make any comments this morning to our custodial staff?
Yes, I would. I'll start if you allow me. I want to thank you guys personally. I'm in the restaurant business, or used to be, and your job is just like that. I mean, you have to come every day. You have no downtime. It's Groundhog Day. It's no off time for you. You got to go in there and do it every day. And a lot of jobs, you have some breaks and stuff, but you guys don't. You got to do it just like the restaurant business. You have to go in every single day and be up and get your job done. And because it's your job, and you take pride in that. And a lot of people don't see that, you know, when they come to the front part of the things. And just like the restaurant business, they don't see what's happening. And but I want to personally thank you for that, because every day is a grind, and you just keep going through it. So thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'll echo that. The restaurant business, I'm in it too, just like Mr. Heinley, and it's just like dirty jobs. You know, Mike Rowe says it best. You know, these are the folks that make life livable and civilization work for the rest of us. That's exactly you guys. These schools, every single day, there are thousands upon thousands of human beings moving in and out of our buildings, and we, by our very nature, we don't think about it of ourselves. But at scale, we're kind of dirty. We leave messes. We tear things up, and then we leave this institution. And we come back, and it's pristine as we come back. That is not pure magic. That's you guys, and you do it day in and day out, and it is a grind, but we owe the fact that the magic of this place works to you guys, so I can't say enough good things about you. You are you're the vital parts that just people don't see, but we see you. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd just like to say that as a former principal, and I know I see some former principals in this room, I'll just tell you that the custodians were my right and left hand every day at that school, whatever school it was. And I know some of you are assigned to other areas, but I'll just tell you, they're very, very important, very critical to the operation of our schools and taking care of our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. White.
And I totally agree with my colleagues. Me too, being in the private sector at one time, knowing how important a clean grocery store is as far as for the customer, is the same for the schools. And, I think each of us can say that, we appreciate all of our custodial teams across the district. We can even name a few. I can name a few right here. Mr. Paul at Southside, Mr. James at Bob Sykes, Miss Wanda at Antioch. These are people that come in, like Mr. Meyer or Mr. Keith said, they're there right when the sun comes up and they're there when the sun goes down. So we have some great teams out there, and know that you're appreciated. So thank you.
Well, I have a couple of points I want to make. First of all, I mentioned this the other day when we were doing a ribbon cutting at Baker, but I do believe that the environment makes a difference to student learning and for even for our employees. So you make sure that that's good, the best of your ability, and I think it truly makes a difference. The other thing I'm going to say, as a former teacher in this district, I can't tell you how many times a custodian saved me, whether it was to help me move something. I was always misplacing my keys. This was back in the day when we actually had those keys, and there'd be somewhere and they had to let me in my room, and I'd lock myself out, and so many different things. And they would be there late when I was doing things. So I had a lot of wonderful friends who are custodial staff, and I don't know that you realize the impact that you make, but I hope that with us recognizing you today, that would kind of sink in. And again, thank you very much for, like they were saying, that constant grind every day. And the other thing that I've seen is in many schools, the students, I think they know the custodians' names sometimes before they know the administrators' names. So you guys are certainly heroes at our school, and thank you so much for what you do.
If I could just end on this, the superintendent couldn't be here today, but he's in Gainesville at another meeting. He wanted me to pass on, thank you. You guys do make a difference. And again, thank you guys for being here. How about a round of applause?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, moving along, board members, to section 4. We have 2 administrative personnel appointments. Tonight, 4.1, appointment of assistant principal 2, a 10-month at Walker Elementary School. And 4.2, appointment of assistant principal 2, 10-month at Richburg School, recommended by superintendent. All right, going to public comment. These are yellow cards for the agenda items. And 5.1, members of the public desiring to address school board regarding agenda items only. Okay, we do not have any of those this morning. All right, 6, committee and staff reports for the workshop. 6.1, Okaloosa County District School Board internal funds financial statements for fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025, presented by Ms. Perry.
Madam Chair, I'd like a few words on that one.
Certainly.
So when we get an audit, they're expensive and they're paying to the staff, but they're required, especially in government entities. Our number one thing, or one of our number one things, is the fiduciary responsibility that we bear. And so you need to give kudos where kudos are earned. And so, we had, as you can see through the narrative on here, we had 20 schools, no exceptions. Perfect. Yep. Perfect. 28 schools, no findings, 8 with exceptions. 9 schools with findings, all level 1. That's the most minor thing you can have when you have that. So in 24-25, we had 6 schools with findings. We're up a little bit, but they were all very minor. So the Ms. Perry and all her staff, and the bookkeepers, they're doing their job, and any exceptions there might be, they're getting corrected. So kudos to that.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Madam Chair, how much money are we talking about? I think the scale at which this is happening also just puts a fine point on how remarkable this audit finding really is. I mean, we're talking about a lot of money here, right?
Yes, sir, they're about 18 million a year.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an unbelievable amount of money, an unbelievable amount of transactions to have this
Oh,
few,
yes.
Findings. I mean, it's just a testament to how hard everybody's working and how diligent everybody is towards following the policies and the procedures. So just want to say thank you.
And I don't know if you know the number of transactions, but having been in the classroom, I call it nickel and dime, where a lot of different fundraisers and things, a lot of different people turning in money and literally here. So it's not like all our checks or all are just easy. It's a lot of counting, a lot of open room for errors, human error.
Right.
And to have such a clean audit is just fabulous.
And like you said, there are a lot of hands in there because you have all these different people collecting the money, and then turning it in, then there's everyone's involved, and they've just all done an excellent job. We're very, very
Absolutely.
proud.
Well, they also have to know what category it goes into also, because it's just not, when it comes in, it could have to go into separate pots.
Oh, yes, there are so many different accounts in
Yeah.
internal funds.
Yeah. Especially at the secondary level. It's
Oh, yes.
amazing.
And the other thing that sometimes folks might not think about is that you go through some transitions during the year as well.
Yes, sir.
With new bookkeepers and transfers, and I know you have to have some kind of training program for all those new folks, and that's where errors can occur.
Yes, sir, that's where most of it is.
And it's understandable, but not to have had significant findings with all of that too, I just think that's remarkable, and thank you for doing that.
Oh, yes, sir, and anybody that does have findings, we're back out there working with them again, going through all their stuff, making sure they understand more and more, and we're always available to them anytime.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, moving along to 6.2, in-county travel paid for January 2026 by Ms. Perry. 6.3, out-of-county travel paid for January 2026 by Ms. Perry. All right, moving along to our consent agenda. 7.1 will be the approval. 7.2, approval of the minutes of the workshop meeting of February 9th, 2026. Minutes of the regular meeting of February 9th, 2026, recommended by the superintendent. 7.3, appropriation of District 2 School Board member capital outlay funds to Bruner Middle School for an exterior wall mural in the amount of $2,500. Hey, I'm kind of interested in what that is.
It's going to be really, really great. So we have an older mural out in front of Bruner that is going to be covered up. I think the mock-up is another Spartan, but Bruner is a real special school. They have turned the corner. They're back to being an A school, and
Right.
we're going to make sure that the front-facing side looks really great for folks as they travel Holmes,
Yeah.
right there in front. So it's going to look
I
great.
bet the students will love it. All right, moving on to 7.4, appropriation of District 2 School Board member capital outlay funds to Fort Walton Beach High School for window and door graphics in the amount of $15,460.20 by Mr. Destin. 7.5, appropriation of District 3 School Board member capital outlay funds to Baker School for music equipment in the amount of $2,807.84. And I'm presenting that one and recommended by the superintendent. 7.6, invoices to be approved for payment, presented by Ms. Perry. 7.7, school donations, presented by Ms. Perry. How we doing, Mr. Heinley?
Oh, we're doing great. So this last month, we collected $66,900.92.
Wow.
It's a huge one because we had a big $50,000 from, if I'm saying the name right, Louise Halse Miller Foundation for Destin Elementary School Beautification Fund, $50,000 in one donation. We're totaling right now $455,864.48 for the year. Now remember, these are donations that are $500 or above, so the community steps up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. Moving on to 7.8, payroll warrant register and accounts payable warrant register totaling $41,020,834.37. Self-health insurance claims and fees totaling $4,378,510.17. And bank transfers totaling $100 million for January 2026. 7.9, revised fiscal year 25-26 child care fees for Southside Child Care, presented by Ms. Perry.
Madam Chair, I'd just like for the public to know on record that this is a reduction in
Yes.
fees in this area.
Yep. 7.10, renewal of ITB 22-12 fuel, gasoline, and diesel, presented by Mr. Wyndham. 7.11, ITB 26-03, telecommunications services for wide area network, presented by Mr. Wyndham. 7.12, ITB 26-04, internet services, presented by Mr. Wyndham. 7.13, ITB 26-05, network infrastructure E-rate, presented by Mr. Wyndham. 7.14, renewal of tag-on bid, annual agreement for portable moving services, presented by Mr. Wyndham. 7.15, tag-on bid purchase over $50,000, Howard Technologies, presented by Mr. Wyndham.
Madam Chair, I have a question on that one.
Okay.
This is a grant, correct? Coming from the state legislature?
Good morning, Mr. Mitchell.
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Okay, and that was provided by one of our legislators from
Yes, sir.
our area, Senator Gates? Just want to let the public know that.
Yes.
He's doing good for us.
Thank you. All right. 7.16, sale and disposal of surplus property, presented by Mr. McElroy. 7.17, affiliation agreement between the School Board of Okaloosa County, Florida, and North Florida Division I and UCF Lake Nona Hospital, presented by Ms. Beasley, Program Director for Career and Technical Education. All right. Moving on to Section 8, the Superintendent's Human Resources Recommendations. 8.1, employees on administrative leave, presented by Ms. Maxey. 8.2, deferred retirement option program, presented by Ms. Maxey. 8.3, Heroes in the Classroom bonus program, application for the fiscal year 25-26, presented by Ms. Duran, Program Director for Professional Services. 8.4, employment separations, presented by Ms. Maxey. 8.5, personnel recommendations, presented by Ms. Maxey. 8.6, employee transfers, presented by Ms. Maxey. 8.7, reinstatement reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty illness, injury, medical examination, presented by Ms. Maxey. 8.8, leave without pay, presented by Ms. Maxey. At this time, we have nothing on the discussion agenda, so we'll move to 10, which is construction program owners representatives business. 10.1 is a status, but I know our first meeting in February, you covered that. Anything to add, Mr. Heinling?
No, we had our meeting, and I gave that report at the last board meeting. I'll go ahead and talk about 10.2, which is that the chiller program that we couldn't quite finish last year is going to be finished with this task order. It's just in the media center area. It's been on the list for a while.
Okay, and just for the record, let me read that item out. 10.2, TPM program number 6, task order number 37, scope modification number 3, GMP sales tax HVAC projects, Niceville High School Media Center, chilled water supply return, piping insulation replacement project. And Mr. Keith is bringing that to us, and you're saying that's That's being worked on. Okay, down to section 11, our attorney's business. Mr. McGinnis?
No report this morning.
Thank you, sir. All right, going down to superintendent's business, Mr. Chambers has another meeting out of town, but we're glad to have you up here. Mr. Meyer, what would you like to go over for him today?
Thank you, ma'am. Just a few items here.
Thank you.
First, we want to highlight one of our students in the CTE realm. This also corresponds with our FADS CTE month. They highlight different sections on a monthly basis. And this is a good local story. A student from Niceville High School, Jackson Shirey. He went through Niceville and OTC, and he was in the automotive program, has a passion for that. He earned, while in high school, his ASE Master Certified Technician. It led to going to college at North Florida, and he has done well there, earning some scholarship money and some money to help with an internship with the Lone Star Racing Rolex 24 at Daytona International Speedway. So his passion going into a program, local program in CTE, also earning a spot for a career, but then also going to college is a great story. So Jackson Shirey, local student. So I think that's him there in the middle. I'm not familiar with this type of automotive racing, probably like some in the audience here, but that's a big deal. So,
Yes, it is. That's exciting.
and I don't know if any of the board members knows about this student, but it's a great story.
Board members, any comments on that? It's, again, another big example of what we're doing in our CTE program.
But if I can make a comment, something I read over the weekend, Governor DeSantis, when he first became governor, his goal was to be CTE, #1 by 2030. And I believe the numbers that just came out, show that Florida's track. Yep. So that's pretty awesome. And I say that because our CTE program in Okaloosa County is second to none. We have a great program, and I noticed Beasley sitting over there in the corner.
Yep.
But, we have a great program out there for all of our schools and students to take part in. So that's really great that they're recognizing students too. So.
Yep. Very good.
And then the next, we had a donation from the Shalimar Library and Thrift Shop. This went to Shalimar Elementary. 2,000 will support the library and another 1,000 to student classroom supplies. So thank you to those guys. Appreciate that. And then supporting our military families, Miss Heck is putting on a college funding and scholarships military seminar. This will be March 2nd at 5:30 at the Herbert Field Chapel. So another good example of reaching out to our military families and helping those students as well.
And that's available to
Anyone,
Right, countywide.
any military family can attend. So thank you to her and her husband for putting that on. And then lastly, last week we did get some budget numbers from the House and the Senate. And just to let you know, we're digging through that, and Ms. Perry's looking at that, but we'll have some upcoming information on both of those.
Okay.
And while I have the mic, congratulations to the United States hockey team for winning the gold medal. That was exciting if anybody watched that yesterday.
Yeah, that was very exciting. Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, let's move along to 13, board members' announcements and requests. And board members, this evening, you'll need to submit your Peggy Gorday Bruner Award ballots. Bring those to the meeting, please. All right, and now let's go to our announcements. So let's start with Dr. White.
Nothing this morning.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Bryant.
Okay, so I do have a few announcements this morning. First of all, we were talking about the Olympics. Okaloosa County actually had a bronze medalist that she bronzed in the women's mass start and speed skating, and she's from Crestview originally. Mia Manganil, can never get her last name right, but Mia, we all know her as Mia. And she used to go to Walker Elementary. So Walker Elementary can now say they have had a student that went there and is a bronze medalist in a winter Olympic event. So congratulations to Mia, and this was actually her last official race, and to go out with a bronze, that's pretty awesome. Friday, I had the opportunity to go visit some schools, and had the opportunity to go to Davidson Middle School, and I asked Miss King to just point out a couple of teachers that we could share some love with, and we went to Miss Caraway's class, who teaches civics. And it was really interesting to talk to the students, and I told them today that they should watch the workshop. So hopefully they are watching the workshop right now, because I'm going to give a shout out to Miss Caraway's civics class. If y'all know Miss Caraway, she's an excellent civics teacher, and the students actually have watched school board meetings in the past, but I thought it would be nice to give them a little shout out if they're watching.
You want us to all wave to them? You think
We could do that if they're watching. I'll wave. Also at Davidson Middle School, their robotics performance, robotics team came in first place in a tournament in Georgia. So that was really awesome, and I know they're really proud of that. And then also Ms. Hayden at Crestview High School does a thing called Coffee with the Principal, and her next one is on February 26th. And I believe it's at 5 p.m. I'll get the correct time for that, but I believe it's at 5 p.m. And she encourages anybody that has a vested interest in Crestview High School to come out and have coffee with her and talk. And that is it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's go with Mr. Destin.
Nothing this morning. I'm going to save the superlatives for tonight.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Heinley.
Mr. Myers, if that'd be a question for you or Ms. Maxey. Bill Smith, I see he's not in the audience, and I know he is coming to an end of his permanent time here. He's going to be a consultant for a little bit. Is he finished technically, or is he still on the payroll?
He has retired, and he'll be on as a consultant.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I doubt he's watching, but he's been a huge asset to this school district and our community as a whole. You know, former city councilman in Niceville, worked at the county level in the building industry, and then had this job. It's going to be a huge loss. Dustin, you got big shoes to fill with him, but his corporate knowledge of this district and the properties is just right there in his head. It's amazing what he knows off the top of his head. So best of luck for Dr. Smith in the future, and we'll be calling him when we need him.
Absolutely.
Oh, also, today's the 23rd. So, who was the 23rd president of the United States?
Benjamin Harrison.
Man, I'm telling you, the chair is on it, 100%. Good job.
You didn't see me Google it. Just like guys to try and make me look bad.
It's just rolling around up there.
Yep. Okay, that's it, I got it. All right. Okay, I have a couple of things. Don't throw me off. I got a couple of things I want to say. Okay, first of all, this time last week we were getting ready for the Baker Swamp Fest up at Baker School. They did a big festival in recognition of their football field that certainly had a lot of champions come from that field up there. So we had a great time that evening with a fish fry, and it was good turnout. It was good weather, warmer then than it is this Monday. Had a lot of fun out there and raised some money for the track team, because pulling up that football field, the track team will have to travel for all of their meets this year, so they need some extra funds. But I want to thank my colleagues right here. First of all, Mr. Destin, who handled the fish fry, along with his brothers, who came out and supplied so much. And then Mr. Heinley showed up and did some manual labor for us. And guys, I really appreciate you coming up there and spending your Monday night and everything. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It was.
Especially watching the cow patty bingo. There you go. Hey, there you go. But yeah, but it was a lot of fun. And again, I appreciate you coming up there and helping with that along with my husband. And we got a lot of fish plates out and mainly did great things for the students. So, and then it's my understanding the very next day started digging up. So it's going. And then we were back at Baker last Friday for the ribbon cutting of the 10 new classrooms. Fabulous, so exciting. And I really particularly enjoyed it because the classroom we went into was a 9th grade English class. They were doing Romeo and Juliet. I asked the class a question. One young man got brave enough to answer it. I know they all knew it, but they don't want to answer, and it was great. So it gave, I really enjoyed getting to do that. But the facility is fantastic, so good. And I think not only just the building, but having this new modular furniture where they can configure in a lot of different ways. I noticed a lot of things are now on rollers, casters, whatever you're going to call them, so that things can be moved out and everything. So it was a great, once again, showing the public that we're doing great with that sales tax money and everything. And I do need to, on a personal note, shout out to Principal Mike Martello, because he was very anxious during this ribbon cutting because his daughter was having his and Principal Lee Martello's second grandchild. But Casey Lee Long made his entrance into the world just about the time we were doing the ribbon cutting, and then he was able to leave and go see his new grandson. So it was exciting. And then I want to remind everyone of the College and Career Fair, which is sponsored by our Public Schools Foundation on March 3rd. And so the high schools have that information. Check with the guidance offices on how to register. It's going to be at Beachside Community Church, which sits right next to the stadium at Choctaw High School. The Choctaw students can make it easy just going over there. They have the afternoon shift. And in the morning, we have students from other schools. I do know that Fort Walton Beach High School is also having a college and career fair. And I don't have the exact date. Do you, Mr. Spolsky?
First week of April.
There you go. And so I just want to make the public aware that we're, offering so many things. Man, I wish we had that when I was in high school. What a great opportunity for these students. So don't miss out on that. All you got to do is just register and take part of that. So, and that's what I have. Any other comments, board members? So let's move on to section 14, public comment from the public. 14.1, members of the public desiring to address school board with general comments, and we do have a yellow card this morning. So good morning, Miss Cynthia West, if you'll come on up. All right, push the button, and if you'll address us with your concern.
Hey guys, I'm going to be less fiery today. I am a data-driven person. Statistics mean things. My background is in mental health, so I take the mental health and well-being of our students very seriously, and I hope that you would all as well. I'm going to caveat this conversation with some statistics. So this is from the 2023 FYSAS study. These are Okaloosa County students. I'm going to read to you the female students because we know males underreport. So we've got 63% of our female students, this is middle school and high school, saying, I am no good at all. We've got 44% that are saying life is not worth it. Then we've got 26% that say that they're actively considering suicide. We have 22% that have a plan. We have 14% who have tried. These are statistics from our students, right? And so when we have conversations, because I know many of you have had conversations with parents, that many of our parents are concerned about bullying, right? And the emotional and mental impact that has on their students. And I think that is, at least for me, that's why I pulled my 16-year-old out of traditional public school. He had bullying experiences in Shoal River. So this is very personal to me. So last school board workshop meeting, you guys saw me get really frazzled. And the reason why I was really frazzled was because I had had an individual meeting with Superintendent Chambers where I was asking him about how we track the data, because I could find state statistics for bullying, but I could not find anything at the district level. And I really wanted to see that, because I wanted to see if we were putting in interventions, what kind of outcomes were we seeing? And the thing that made me so sad was he said that you guys weren't tracking that. So last school board meeting, when Linda had asked how the legislation that had just gone into effect for this year regarding cell phone policy, how that was impacting, and he said he didn't have the data now, but he would get it to her. I wasn't told I had a time limit. Can I just finish? I'll be really brief. Would you guys, I'm not being.
I mean, I think it'd be.
Finish your thought, please.
Okay, so he said there was data, so I did a records request on that data, and what's worse than not tracking data is to haphazardly just taking in some statistics that we know are false. So for instance, I will just read to you the 2023-2024, we'll just do high school to be brief. We have 6 instances of bullying in our county. For 2024 to 2025, we have 0 instances of bullying recorded. And for 2025, through this school year, we have 1. We're not tracking bullying. We know we've had suicides because of this issue. If we're not taking this seriously, if we're not tracking the data so we can put interventions into place, we're putting our children's lives at stake, and that's not okay.
Thank you, Ms. West. Okay. All right, moving on to section 15. We have actually 3 items in public hearing this evening. 15.1, public hearing for consideration and approval of Resolution 2601, adopting a school closure plan for Longwood Elementary School at the end of the 25-26 school year, and to provide for the surplus and disposal of real property, presented by Mr. Spolsky, Assistant Superintendent. 15.2, public hearing for consideration and adoption of Resolution 26-02, approving the proposed school closure plan for Mary Esther Elementary School at the end of the 25-26 school year, and to provide for the surplus and disposal of real property, presented by Mr. Spolsky, Assistant Superintendent. 15.3, public hearing for consideration and adoption of Resolution 26-03 and the proposed rezoning of student attendance areas for those students currently zoned to attend Mary Esther Elementary School and Longwood Elementary School, and to establish a new student attendance zone for students who will be attending Edwards Elementary School, Elliott Point Elementary School, Florosa Elementary School, Kenwood Elementary School, Shalimar Elementary School, and Wright Elementary School, to be effective at the beginning of the 26-27 school year, presented by Mr. Spolsky, Assistant Superintendent. Okay, all right, so that takes us to adjournment. But before we do that, I want to know if there's any comments from staff this morning or anything. Okay, and over here, Ms. Appleberg or Mr. Strong, any comments this morning? Board members, anything else? Okay, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.